My name is DJones. This is my Module 3 assignment for FTH223 Hammer 5 Pistols. And today's date is May the 16th, 2026. And we'll be going over three parts of the Hammer 5 platform. That's going to be the ejector, the recoil spring, I believe the guide rod. And we're going to just be recreating those dimensions on paper, the scale. So we'll get the firearm assembled, and we'll do a explosive view of those parts, and we'll go over the dimensions. We have a firing pin, a guide rod, and our ejector. All right, we're gonna get our measurements, and then we're gonna draft up the parts. So I don't have the best drawing skills, but here are the dimensions for the guide rod. The overall length of it is 3-inch, 80 by 85, 128 of an inch. The base part of it is 15/64 of an inch, while the diameter of the longer rod portion is 3/16 of an inch. So essentially, the longer guide rod portion, I would say it's an easy or hard part to assemble, but it's just fairly simplistic measurements. Now the firing pin, the dimensions are a little scattered because you have the dimensions for the firing pin itself, the firing pin protrusion part, which at the end of it is about 1/16 of an inch in width, compared to further down, which is about, I think it was 3/16 of an inch. I didn't write it. I don't think I wrote it down. It was 3/16 of an inch, but the length of the firing pin part is 1 inch and 15/30 up here, 1 inch and 15/30, while the width of the part that connects with the ejector springs, well, the extractor coil is 11/64 inches in width. So from this end to this end, 11/64 inch, while the back plate catch is 19 and 128 of an inch. So the back plate protrusion point right here is 19 and 128 of an inch. And the diagram or the schematics for the ejector, while the dimensions, of course, it is, I won't say vary, but several different dimensions. But for the ejector itself, the length from back to front is 3 inches. Well, no, 35/64 of an inch, while the full assembly piece, the height from the top to bottom is 5/8 of an inch, and from the back part to the end of the assembly piece is 99/128 of an inch. So, like I said, there are multiple different measurements that make up this part. Now, there are some key things that I'll be wanting to know how to recreate and understand the drawing and schematics for these parts and pieces. One is proper fitment for when we're getting replacement parts and pieces, because sometimes we might not need to order the exact part that might fit into the firearm. We might be able to find a good substitute or one that we can manufacture to fit that part if the measurements fit. The second reason is similar to that. If we're gonna sit there and manufacture that part piece ourselves, You want to be able to get accurate measurements. So even if I want to get the right guide rod or the spring, I want to make sure the diameter will fit, that spring will fit onto that guide rod. Or the same for the pin that connects the sear with the ejector assembly. For that pin, I want to ensure that that pin is the right size pin to make sure it will fit in there. Because if that's why these measurements will be important for not only just the manufactured piece itself, but the pieces that interconnect with it, as well as other parts like the safety. But the safety piece locks into this part as well. So that's why these measurements are important, as well as being able to recreate these measurements and schematics. Now this is checking the firearm with the no-go gauge. As we see, is not sitting properly, but with the go gauge, we see that the round chamber is just fine, nice and flush. Everything is aligned properly, so we can check the head spacing.